An exceptional sports sedan can be your everything. Everyday commuter, long-haul road tripper, airport taxi, canyon carver. The latest generation Audi A4 was introduced for 2017 and got a mid-cycle refresh for 2020. As it sits this year, the German automaker's podium-ranked sports sedan is quite good but not exceptional. We tested a 2022 Audi A4 S-Line to break it all down. Not your average Audi. Audis are known as the subtle, under-the-radar choice in the luxury compact segment, compared to more ostentatious options like an extravagantly styled Alfa Romeo Giulia or a tail-happy BMW 3 Series. Our test car was not the dark gray, black interior, fade-to-the-background Audi that usually comes to mind. Instead of a grayscale bankermobile, the 2022 Audi A4 S-Line that arrived in our test fleet was Ticket Me Tango Red Metallic and featured a Black Optic Plus package. The latter decked out the badging, side mirrors, grille, rocker panel detail, and front and rear bumper trim in high-gloss black. The package also adds red brake calipers, unique interior trim, and a knockout set of 19-inch 5-spoke wheels that look straight off a previous generation Audi S4. If you want a luxury car that blends in, this version of the A4 isn't it. Don't worry about the styling being too over the top, there's enough go to match all the show. Our Audi A4 S-Line test example was fitted with the more powerful of the A4's 2.0-liter turbocharged i4 options, badged A445 TFSI, producing 261 horsepower, more on that later, and 273 lb-ft of torque delivered to all four wheels with help from a 7-speed dual-clutch automatic and quattro all-wheel drive. Opting for the more powerful engine buys the Audi S-Line package, similar to what BMW would supply with its M Sport offerings. In the A4, it means a 0.9-inch lower sport suspension, ventilated disc brakes with larger rotors, larger and wider wheels, and illuminated aluminum door sills. Think of the A4 S-Line as a would-be 4-cylinder S4. How quick is an Audi A4? For a sports sedan lacking M, RS, or AMG badges, the 2022 Audi A4 S-Line is legitimately quick. In our testing, the A4 S-Line reached 60 miles per hour in 5.2 seconds on its way to a 14.0-second quarter mile at 98.8 miles per hour. Based on the test figures and our on-road driving impressions, we wager this engine makes more than its claimed 261 horsepower. Two direct competitors, the Alfa Romeo Giulia T and Cadillac CT4V, scored it to 60 miles per hour in 5.2 and 5.1 seconds, but those cars produced 280 and 325 horsepower, respectively. They both weigh within 100 pounds of the A4 S-Line. This Audi is a clear outlier, but that said, our test drivers said the A4's engine didn't feel as gutsy as the 300 horsepower 4-cylinder found in the Volkswagen Arteon we tested on the same day. However, the test car did not drive like a standard A4. The S-Line's larger ventilated brake rotors and the summer tires that came with the optional 19-inch wheels paid off, too, keeping the chassis stable under hard braking and capable of stopping from 60 miles per hour in 111 feet, surprisingly good for a non-S4. The transmission was reluctant to downshift around our figure-8 course, even using the paddle shifters mounted to the steering wheel, which dulled the car's thrust response significantly. Brakes were easy to modulate and turn-in was solid, the steering was notably precise, if slightly numb. As for the numbers, the A4 S-Line completed its figure-8 lap in 25.9 seconds at 0.70 average G. Those figures slightly trail the Alfa's 25.7-second lap at 0.71 average G, but the A4 took a narrow victory on the skid pad at 0.92 G compared to the Giulia's 0.91. Living with the Audi A4. Treating the 2022 Audi A4 S-Line the way an owner might, the car has notable strengths and room for improvements. First, the interior. This cabin is outstanding and full of tech, minimalist but not barren, and a showcase of the build quality Audi is famous for. Among our favorite details is the shifter, a beefy thing that fills your palm just right. We also have praise for the controls layout. Where higher-end Audis utilize a secondary touchscreen for climate controls, the A4 offers elegant physical buttons and switches that are easy to operate while keeping your eyes on the road. Little details like a frameless rearview mirror elevate the A4 above range-topping trims from sub-luxury brands. A special shout-out to the volume knob just to the right of the shifter. More recently redesigned Audis swapped this setup for a quarter-sized touchpad you must approach like a DJ scratching a tiny record. We'll take a physical rotating knob any day, especially if it controls the A4's outstanding 19-speaker Bang & Olufsen audio. The system is every bit as rich and powerful as buyers fantasize about when they debate shelling out for an optional premium setup. Lower frequencies at high volumes excited a light rattle from the driver's side door panel, but we chalk that up more to the wattage sent to those speakers than the A4's otherwise seemingly stellar build quality. The back seat isn't so bad either. Sitting behind my own driving position at 6'1", I still had a couple inches between my knees and the seat back, though my head was firmly against the headliner. There is zero downgrade in material quality, though, which is to say the leather upholstery is fitting of a luxury sedan. The cup holder design in the fold-down center armrest is clever but will struggle to accommodate American-sized soft drinks. The 10.1-inch touchscreen infotainment system is the same unit you see in a six-figure Audi S8, and although the layout is intuitive and the display quick to respond, this is one area where the A4 could use work. There's no anchor point for your thumb to aid more accurate touch inputs, but that was the least of our issues. Numerous times upon starting, the screen would pop up mostly blank as if it had been tripped up loading an asset. Tapping one of the menu icons to the left returned the system to its normal operations. We also had issues with Bluetooth and wireless Apple CarPlay pairing, each took multiple attempts. Especially compared to the multimedia systems in the Tesla Model 3 and new Mercedes-Benz C-Class, the A4 infotainment doesn't look as impressive either. Driving the 2022 Audi A4 S-Line was less frustrating. This powertrain is more than capable of scooting the A4 around with alacrity, and as we mentioned, we wouldn't be surprised to find it makes an extra 50 horsepower or so. The steering has purposeful weight, if little feel, and though the brakes are a little grabby, after an adjustment period by the driver they're easy to modulate and trustworthy in an emergency. Two other notes. First, this is an older version of Audi's 2.0-liter Turbo 4, and although it gained a mild hybrid system for the 2021 model year, it's a 12-volt system rather than the 48-volt setup in newer Audis. Remember, the most recent A4 redesign occurred for the 2017 model year. If the new system is jalapeno, the A4's is bell pepper. The most notable consequence here relates to low-speed behavior. Audi's auto stop-start system is imperceptible in the new 2022 Audi A3 but sends a rumble reverberating through the A4's body. And the A4's dual-clutch gearbox can fumble while creeping along in traffic, which isn't an issue when a more powerful hybrid system can ease you along. Second, in S-Line trim with our test car's sweet-looking 19-inch wheels, the A4 rides firmly and exhibits major road noise over anything but perfect pavement. The suspension pays off in body control, the 0.9-inch drop and wider rolling stock contribute more stability in corners, but detracts from the A4's aspirations as a do-everything sport sedan. Don't expect to experience a cosseting ride home from the airport, in other words. Flawed, still fantastic. The 2022 Audi A4 S-Line can't be your everything. It's too stiff and noisy to pass as a pure luxury car, the transmission can be clumsy for performance driving, and the tech isn't quite there for 2022. Rather, the A4 S-Line is for buyers who put style and sportiness first but who will happily trade the extra power of an S4 or M340i for better fuel economy and more feature content at a similar price point.